Right now, somewhere in your chest, there is a feeling you have probably been trying to get rid of. It might have arrived on a Sunday afternoon when the apartment went quiet. It might have crept in at a party where you were surrounded by people but still felt completely alone. You might have felt it last night, scrolling through your phone, watching other people's lives move forward while yours felt still. You call it loneliness. You treat it like a problem, like something broken inside you that needs to be fixed. But what if you have been wrong about what it actually is? What if loneliness is not a flaw in your emotional wiring at all? What if it is one of the most sophisticated survival systems your body has ever built? Here is what the science actually says, and it will change the way you think about every quiet moment you have ever tried to escape. Your body runs on signals. Hunger is a signal that tells you to eat. Pain is a signal that tells you something is damaged. Thirst is a signal that tells you your cells need water. These are not weaknesses.
They are alarms, precise, ancient biological alarms built over millions of years to keep you alive. John Cacioppo, a neuroscientist at the University of Chicago who spent decades studying loneliness, argued something that most people find deeply uncomfortable. Loneliness, he said, is not a feeling. It is a biological alarm. It functions in exactly the same category as hunger and thirst. It is your nervous system detecting a threat and telling you to do something about it. The threat it is detecting is social isolation. For most of human history, being alone was not just uncomfortable, it was lethal. Your ancestors did not survive by being strong or fast. They survived by being together. A lone human on the African savanna 2 million years ago was a dead human. No group meant no protection from predators, no shared food, no one to watch your back while you slept. The group was the survival strategy. Separation from the group was the single most dangerous thing that could happen to you. So your brain built an alarm for it, a loud, persistent, uncomfortable alarm that would force you to pay attention and fix the problem before it killed you. That alarm is what you feel when the room goes quiet and you realize you are alone. Cacioppo's research showed something remarkable. When your brain detects social isolation, it does not just make you feel sad. It shifts into a threat state. Your cortisol levels rise. Your immune system suppresses.
Your sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented because a lone human sleeping deeply in the wild was an easy target. Your brain starts scanning for danger in social situations, interpreting neutral facial expressions as hostile, reading ambiguous tones of voice as threatening. This is not your imagination. This is your nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do. Stephanie Cacioppo, also a neuroscientist who continued this research, found that chronically lonely people show measurably different brain activity when processing social information. The threat detection regions of the brain become hyperactive. The reward regions that light up during positive social connection become quieter. Loneliness literally rewires how you experience other people, making connection feel harder to reach the longer you go without it. Which creates a trap. The alarm goes off, but the alarm itself makes it harder to respond to the alarm. Think about that for a moment. The longer you stay isolated, the more your brain interprets the world as threatening. The more threatening the world feels, the harder it becomes to reach out. The harder it becomes to reach out, the longer you stay isolated. The alarm keeps ringing, and instead of answering it, most people do what you would never do with a smoke detector. They try to muffle the sound. You fill the silence with your phone. You watch other people live on a screen. You stay busy. You tell yourself you are fine with being alone. You tell yourself you prefer it. You wait for the feeling to pass.
But the alarm does not go off because something is wrong with you. It goes off because something is right with you. Because your body still carries the ancient knowledge that connection is not optional. It is structural. It is as necessary as food and water and sleep.
Julianne Holt-Lundstad, a researcher at Brigham Young University, has shown in studies tracking hundreds of thousands of people over years that chronic loneliness carries health consequences comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It raises the risk of early death by 26%. Not because loneliness is a mood, but because prolonged activation of the threat state your nervous system enters during isolation causes real, measurable biological damage over time. The alarm was built for short-term use, a warning, a prompt, something to push you back toward the group before the threat became permanent. It was never designed to ring for years, and when it does, the cost is real. So what do you do with this? You stop treating the feeling as the enemy. You start treating it as information. When hunger arrives, you do not hate yourself for being hungry. You eat. When the loneliness alarm sounds, the answer is not to shame yourself for feeling it or to bury it under noise. The answer is to take it seriously, to move toward connection the way you would move toward food when your body needs it. Not because you are weak, because you are human. Because your body is working exactly the way it was built to work. The most important thing Cacioppo ever said about loneliness was this: it is a cue to reconnect, not a verdict on your worth, not evidence that something is fundamentally wrong with you. A cue. The same way a rumbling stomach is a cue to eat. Biological, neutral, purposeful. The next time that quiet settles in and your chest tightens with it, try something different. Do not reach for your phone to escape it. Sit with it for one moment and recognize it for what it actually is. Your oldest, most loyal survival system doing its job. Telling you that you matter to others, that you need others, that you were never built to do this alone. That feeling in your chest is not a flaw. It is proof that you are still wired to survive.
If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe the channel and wait for the next video. I'll be coming soon.